Hi, everyone. Welcome to Left Undone, Incomplete Investigations. I'm Kathy. I want to talk a little bit more. These things are going on in my head, and I want to talk to you. So welcome to Left Undone. If you're new here, my name is Kathy. I am a registered nurse, a mother of 4, a grandmother of 2, and I'm a hospice nurse currently. I have a lot of years working labor and delivery, but my current job is hospice. So how's everybody today? This is a weird day for me to have a live stream. I never do these on the weekdays, so I just want to see who's in the chat. Hello, Smitty D, Journey to Get There, and Susie Hutchin. Hi, Jenny. Justine. Why do I want to say Justine? Hi, Justine. How are you? Hi, is everybody? I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here. Hey, there are some things I wanted to cover because, again, as you know, I told you that the people that are being called stalker friends or troublemakers, the ones that started it all, or all of that when it comes to the Lauren Mathias thing, are friends of mine. And I am not speaking for them, but I am speaking for me and my truth and what I know about them and who they are and the facts that I've looked into. Okay. But I'm not speaking for them. Let's just put it that way. Hold on, let me get my music off here because it's kind of gets to be to the point where it's not needed. Stop. Okay, there we go. Music's off. So how are you anyway? Before we get started, how is everybody? I am glad to be here. My normal live streams were always on Saturdays. I did start another channel. It's called Chatting with Kathy, and I plan to transition a lot of what I do over there, unless it's true crime, because this isn't really true crime right now, but this is the community that's following what's going on. So I thought I'd do this here. Let's see who's here. Hi, Diane. Hannah, nice to see you. Oh, thank you. I am super tired. Oh, you guys, just FYI, before I get started, I got my information back about my knee. I just had my knee. My knee's been bothering me. When we were in Italy and we were in Greece, my knee was killing me so bad. So I'm thinking, torn meniscus, something like that. Apparently it has severe degenerative joint disease. So I'm going to probably have to I am going to have a knee replacement. That's what's going to happen. So more good news. Yay. Old age. Never thought that my knees would break down. I just didn't think they would. Everybody else's might, but not mine. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you very much. And hey, baby girl. Well, nice to see you guys. All right, let me just, before I drag this on too much, I know you guys are here for a reason. And again, just welcome back. If you watched my live on Saturday, I do want to thank you so much for engaging in that. It was a fair, honest discussion. The chat was actually, for the most part, amazing. There were both sides presented in the chat, but there was no name calling. It shows what kind of a following Left Undone, my loyalies, you guys are a great community, and I really appreciate that. So I'm going to continue the discussion tonight because, as expected, the emotional narrative, well, it's been amplified, I will say, because it is all over the place. There are people doing these live streams and rebuttal videos and everything. Even Turtle Boy, who was like huge proponent of Karen Reed and the free Karen Reed, he got onto this last night and he started talking about, and he had like almost 7,000 when I was listening to him, 7,000 people in his live stream talking about Lauren. I mean, he was trying to be really open-minded, but he was kind of like, he's very big on freedom of speech. And I think that's why he's a good person to go ahead and follow this, because he's been involved in a lot of stuff himself. All right, so that being said, um, just to set the tone and the rules right now, a reminder, we are discussing a publicly available, this is publicly available information that we're talking about here. We're not talking behind anybody's backs. We're not slandering. We're not defaming anybody. We are talking about publicly available information that was put out there. It's a online conflict. And the whole thing is just ethical behaviors of creators in true crime community. And we're not offering legal advice. There's nothing about that here. So, remember the ground rules. My mods will visibly enforce these as well, but you are welcome to disagree with me. It is perfectly fine. Please do. I get so upset when I'm in a chat trying to be respectful, but posing a different opinion, and it happens all the time. I go into somebody's chat in this community of creators, and I get silenced, and I think it's appalling. I'm sorry. Unless you are breaking rules, calling somebody names, being hateful, then let somebody talk in your chat. Freedom of speech, in my opinion, applies to not just the government, right? It applies to all of us. And yes, you can be the king or queen of your channel, and you can shut people down if you don't like what they say, but I don't think it's a good look, to be honest. I just watched this Saturday on the replay, loved it, great community. Sadly, I was on the live with Megan last night, and I really like her, but she was not at all authentic. There were bullies in her chat. Yeah. And the bullies are going to come out. I mean, we know that. Hidden True Crime has a huge, huge following, which is amazing. She worked really hard to get that. But a lot of it, from what I'm seeing, are just parasocial vulgars, parasocial people that are parasocially attached to Lauren as if she's their real friend, and not looking at it from a unemotional point of view. Like, step back, pretend this is somebody that you don't have this adoration for, and look at what's going on. Look at the facts, right? And look at what's happening, and look at the law. And if you live in the United States, you know how important freedom of speech is. And as a journalist, people should be very, very cautious when it comes to silencing other people. I think it's a disservice to the true crime community. It really is. So you can disagree with me, but no threats, no personal attacks on anyone in the chat or with me. We're here to discuss facts and behavior, not to silence people. Okay. So last night, the narrative was given a new platform last night on Duty Ron. Now, Duty Ron has been around. I think his channel started around the same time I did. He grew very large. He has an excellent channel. People appreciate the law enforcement point of view on things, and I think it's an asset to the true crime community to have those points of view. Although there's a lot of police officers, in my family as well, and they are not necessarily experts on every point of law. They just aren't. They protect, they walk the street, they drive their car, but they are not lawyers, right? And so they can tell things from their side or what they think as far as the legal system goes, but they are not judges, they're not juries, they are not lawyers when they're sitting in their YouTube studio. And they also have a friendship with the person that they brought on that they feel bad for. So there's a bias. There is definitely a bias, right? I'm just going to say that. So, but the narrative was given a new platform yesterday, and I'm going to stop right now. I feel the same way, Katie. I feel like I have to pick a side. I think that you shouldn't feel like you have to pick a side. I've clearly picked a side. I have, because I saw what Lauren said for 9 hours, and I watched, and I sat there and I watched and I listened, and I was open-minded. I thought when I went in there that she was going to give some true big fact. I didn't even tell my friends that I know that are involved in all this. They never even told me about this. I heard about this from one of my other mods that said, "Did you see that Lauren had a 9-hour live? She has a stalker." And I was like, "I have no idea. I didn't know anything about it." So I immediately went on and started watching her 9 hours. And I was completely open-minded. After I watched it, or while I was watching it, when she started naming people that I know, that I've known for 5, 6 years here, one of my mods, one of my friends, I was like, they didn't even tell me about this. So they're not boo telling people like, "Hey, Kathy, put this on your show. Look what's happening to us." Nothing. Nothing. I met Christina at the Vallow Daybell trial briefly. What I probably wouldn't even have remembered her, but but a lot of these people are going to these trials for work. People that are named, and some of them are just have been involved in the true crime community, and they go because they think it's really highly interesting to watch trials, which it is, really is. It's a very different perspective to be in there, and I think the justice system is just fascinating, to be honest. So, what is my narrative? I don't have a narrative. I'm talking about the narrative that was set by Lauren. And that is up for discussion at this point because she put it out there. I was a little disappointed in Megan's live stream as well, because, again, I think, she was at CrimeCon with Lauren, hung out with Lauren at CrimeCon, considers herself a friend of Lauren's. Now, a lot of people have been friends with Lauren that eventually have not been friends with Lauren. Now, there's a pattern. Now, people can say what they want about Lori Hellis, but I've talked to Lori Hellis before. I talked to her at the Daybell trial. She's a very intelligent woman. She knows the law, and she's always been really approachable. And my honest viewpoint of Lauren is she was never approachable when I was at the trial. Gigi was amazingly approachable, came over to me, talked to me, handed me some of her little stickers and stuff, like just a genuine. And I have always been able to read people. And I thought maybe my sense of Lauren was incorrect because everybody else was fine with her. We invited her out when I was in Idaho to go to dinner because I'm like, I'm not that person. I would love to sit with her. Maybe I have a completely wrong perspective here. And she turned us down. Both Daybell trials I tried. And both times I was there, every night we asked, she declined it. But then when I wasn't there at other trials, she did go with my friends. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just being maybe it was a coincidence. I don't know. But I did get that sense because she's never supported my channel ever. I've gone into hers, and her mods have attacked me in the past, especially early on when there was that Facebook group with Carl Danger. And then she had him on, which I felt like was a complete slap in my face. There was a lot of things that went on early on that people don't know that I had never brought up. And somebody's, well, you said that this happened, whatever, in my chat. And then you're not giving us the facts or the truth because it doesn't matter. I know what happened to me, and I know that there has been a lot of crap that goes on in this true crime community. It is freaking dog eat dog to some people, and they do not want another creator to be known to be the one that follows a case the best or longest or first. And I did follow the Daybell trial before anybody. It was an accident. I started my channel and I picked that case, and kids were missing and parents were missing, and I had no idea in the world what was going to go on. But I was given a lot of information by people that were involved in the case, and that started out right from the beginning. But I work full-time and I'm a nurse, and I cannot do this full-time. I cannot sit here full-time. So I cannot compete with that, and I don't want to. But I just, in my world, I don't know why there's not enough room for everybody here. So, and I honestly, I started my other channel because I'm kind of over it. I don't like this backstabbing crap that goes on in true crime. I want to follow true crime to have a community of like-minded people that can talk and debate and discuss and have viewpoints. The West case was huge with people taking sides and being attacking each other, attacking me. Oh my goodness, just because I was open-minded and I was like, I'm not sure these people are guilty. They got convicted. Okay, so then I'm going to trust the jury. But I was still entitled to have my opinion, right? But I got attacked a lot. And Duty Ron was very much against the Wests, but he was always very kind to me. When the jury verdict came down, he said, that he respected me and respected my show and everything, and he definitely knew that we had different opinions on that. So that was kind. Let me see here what you said. I was watching Lori Hellis's video. She's pretty mean. Lots of bad comments were in her chat. Then she took her video down and she put it back up today, by the way. The one where she was kind of telling the story of the apparently the books getting hacked or downloaded or given to people. And Lori Hellis, let me tell you something else. Okay. Back in 2020, 2021-ish, I had a Friday night members only live stream happy hour. We did it every Friday night. We did it for months and months. And all of a sudden, and a lot of people, right, you guys, a lot of people follow more than one channel. They follow my channel. This is back, 5 years ago. They follow Lauren. They follow, I don't know, there's tons of Christina. They follow, I'm having a blank on the one lady that was in Canada. She has a big channel and she was really big at the time. A lot of people were following her and me. What is her name? And so I had that Friday night happy hour. My channel was growing really well. My membership was growing really well. And I took a 6 p.m., it was a 5 or 6 p.m. slot for my members only. And we had lots of members. And hold on one second. Let me do something super duper duper quick. Hold on. Sorry. I need to. Okay. Idaho Mom, I just modded you because my mods didn't know last minute, and I want to make sure I have plenty of mods here. So we had this happy hour, right? And it was fun. And sometimes we did panels. Like I let you guys come on and we did panels and we talked about cases, and it was members only, and it was really fun. It was great. And then I noticed all of a sudden that people weren't coming to my Friday night members only. And I was like, that's weird. And it dwindled and it dwindled and it dwindled. And come to find out that Lauren, and that's when Lauren was doing her live stream, the one she was doing with Lori Hellis. They took my time slot. And a lot of people were very, very interested in what they had to say. And Lori Hellis writing a book about the case and following it and giving the legal details was definitely something that people preferred to watch if they had a choice, which to me is fine. But I feel like there's a way online to be respectful of other creators and not to just go, oh, she's been at this time slot for months and months and we're just going to do it on that same time. Like, no, that was one of the big things that really rubbed me the wrong way about Lauren. I thought it was really conniving, to be honest, because all that stuff had happened in the Facebook group, and she was part of that group, and she was part of those people saying things about me in there. I was sent lots and lots and lots of screenshots by people. And so there was a lot back then, and it started to get me to sort of fade away from doing my members only lives. I really did. I stopped. I mean, what's the point? What am I going to do? Talk to nobody, and who we're going to panel? I mean, I guess maybe I could have just kept going, and I have my loyal people, and some people would see through it and some people would be over here instead of there. But it was hurtful. I can't say it wasn't. It was hurtful. I was hurt. And I wasn't able to grow like that. I had to go to work. Like I have to go to work as a nurse. I need my health insurance, I don't have another income in my home. It's just me. And I bought my new house at the time, and I as much as I would have liked to maybe try to do half and half, I'm not able to do that. And my job is extremely exhausting, and um it's just a lot, right? To be a nurse and then to be a hospice nurse. I think at the time I wasn't, though. At that point, I was doing high risk OB, but it was just a lot. So that was my point of what stuff that's gone on, because somebody was like, "Well, you didn't tell us anything's going on with you." I had gone, and then when I met face to face at the trials, and you're not going to, be approachable, or you refuse to go have a dinner with all of us that are going. It just, you don't come up like Gigi did, Lori did. We talked to each other, Nate Eaton, Justin Lum, everybody was approachable. I could go. I didn't get that sense from Lauren. And I don't know why, except for I can tell you the history that makes me think that there was some reason. Okay. Um, so, so anyway, last night, the narrative of this stalking case was given a new platform on Duty Ron. And my goal is to provide you with the context, the facts, and the ethical scrutiny that were completely absent from that discussion. So, this is a fact check and a rebuttal to what was clearly a one-sided interview, which I think isn't okay. Even freaking Fox News brings people from two sides on to talk. I think this one-sidedness is the one of the biggest problems here, because people cannot decide for themselves if they don't hear the other side. And I really truly wish Lauren would have allowed, no matter what, even if law and crime was going to be there, I really wish she would have let this go to court and let a judge decide, because it would be a lot clearer for all of us. Don't you think? I could be wrong, but I'm noticing that some who are using their channel as their full-time income can become very cutthroat. Sometimes they try to grow their channel by siding with the big ones. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of clout chasers. I will tell you that. I've seen it. I know it. People that were smaller than me, 4 or 5 years ago, were all about coming on my show, talking to me, having me on theirs, right? All about it until they got bigger. Once they got bigger, I don't need Kathy at Left Undone. And you will continue to see that. They will not bring smaller channels on unless there is something in it for them. There is a community of a little bit of that backstabbing stuff that goes on. And once they step over you, they step over you. They don't look back. And that has been something that has really discouraged me from continuing a true crime channel on YouTube. It really is. So I am being one-sided. At this point, I am. I do not believe that Lauren was stalked. I'm not saying I wasn't one-sided. At this point, the facts that I know and that have been available to me, because I have all the court documents, and we can get into that. I just haven't been given permission to do anything with them yet publicly, and it's not my place to, but I have been given them. I have the audio of the judge. I have the audio of the two witnesses that spoke. It was what happened at court when they went that day was they went to court. Okay, so Lauren filed this complaint with the court, the stalking complaint, right? It got approved, because that's how it is. You give your basic evidence and it gets approved. And then the respondent has 10 days to respond that they want a hearing. Christina responded that she wanted a hearing. That hearing occurred. And when it occurred, they came to court. Well, apparently, there wasn't enough time, and people came from out of town. Some of these witnesses came from out of state. So because there wasn't enough time, you hear the lawyers in the recordings saying, we don't have enough time for this today. It's going to have to be continued. We could blah, blah, blah. And they talked about the calendar and all this stuff. And then the respondent's attorney was like, well, we have people here from out of state that we'd like to at least let them, basically go out of order and talk. And so he allowed that. So when you listen to the recording, there's 2 witnesses that were called up there to talk about their, is this everything you said in your testimony, right, and whatever response, accurate, and this and that. And they asked some questions about Christina. They asked some questions about Lauren, and they asked some questions about stalking behavior and TikToks and all that stuff. So they couldn't finish. So then they went into the whole thing about, well, what stands? Is the stalking, is the restraining order still in place? Da, da, da. And the judge went into quite a bit about the fact that, yes, you cannot defame and you cannot, and he said, but that's a high bar. And now we're talking about public figures. So, which is even a higher bar when it comes to defamation, right? But he flat out says in the recording, being mean to somebody online on social media and saying mean things about them is not stalking. He wanted to see true stalking. So it was continued at the end of that. He said, he brought up CrimeCon and he adjusted some things because he said he misunderstood something about that. Like, because they were basically saying that Christina's not allowed to go on social media and say anything about anything. Like, she's not allowed, even cryptically or whatever. And the judge was very clear that that is a violation of someone's First Amendment right. And he's right. He's the freaking judge and he knows what he's talking about and he knows the law. So they left. This is how I got from thing. Okay. And all this evidence is there. There's files, there's pictures, there's clips of Lauren going up the stairs, running into Janice, telling Janice, I don't feel safe, go away. But Janice isn't the one chasing her. Lauren has her camera on. It's just a lot of drama, right? And there's a lot, and then there's the TikToks, and then there's statements, and there's a lot. I haven't even gotten through all of it. And so it was to be continued, I think, to what, the 16th, October 16th. And somewhere in there, Lauren found out that there was a media request and she didn't know who it was. They found out it was Law and Crime. So once she found out that Law and Crime had a media request, she dropped she didn't want to go because this is going to hurt her family to have cameras in the courtroom. And this is horrible. And how dare they come to this, want to be in her courtroom with her personal, stalking injunction. And she couldn't do it because this was going to hurt her son's mental health and blah, 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 blah. Okay, then end it there. The 9-hour rant about it, which went through the entire thing that was going to be presented in court, makes no sense to me. Make it make sense to me. If somebody would make it make sense to me, I would be more than happy to listen. So yeah, I agree with you, Journey. It's not about stalking. It's about control. Like, don't you say anything to me. Here's my take on it. 2 people were friends and they had a falling out. And in that falling out, the friends had other friends that were like on her side. This is how it works with friends. Have you never been in middle school or high school or elementary school, and especially women? And they took Christina's side because they saw some things. So it's okay. Sorry, Christina, we're not going to be friends with Lauren anymore, but we are friends with you, right? This is just my interpretation in layman's terms. And so Lauren didn't like that. Now she's being left out of this friend group. But apparently she said some really horrible things that are in text messages somewhere. I've not seen those. I don't know anything about those. But Lauren's the one bringing them up. So the friends got mad and the friends took their, went and did their own things, stayed away. And Lauren was left out. And I think that a part of it is an ego punch in the throat, right, to Lauren. I mean, obviously you don't want to be left out of your friend group, but they took a side. The 9-hour rant was a distraction, in my opinion. Yes, and Cassandra, that is my entire point right there. Went on a 9-hour rant and talked about her son's mental health, quoted things that the son had said to Grayson. And if you care that much about your child, you're not going to even bring it up. Why? What does it matter? Like that part of it in your 9-hour rant. You can just say, this was a problem. My child had a problem with this. Not like, oh, and then he said this, and now he's afraid. And his parental, he read what John had said, that the son tells Lauren, Mom, if somebody just listen to me, and if somebody comes out after you, just run. Or there's a quote there on John. I read John's whole thing. It's just, if you're going to say, I don't want my son's mental health to be exposed by cameras, then don't expose it by cameras. I guess it's really that simple. I think it's really that simple. So, let me just quickly summarize the facts. I kind of like blah, 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 ramble in them that have been missing from the narrative being peddled elsewhere. The situation begins truly, plainly, as a friendship fallout. Like I just said, Lauren, Mathias, and Christina were acquaintances. They worked together at trials. When the relationship dissolved, there was gossip, right? Friends, girls go on this on picking sides, right? Then a social media feud, erupted with one party, right? Christina made cryptic, mean-spirited TikToks. I saw them. They're mean-spirited. Some of them are so cryptic you would never even know unless you were Lauren, right? But that still would hurt her feelings, I'm sure. Let's see. I keep trying to kind of pop back and look at this while I'm talking. Hi, the fact that it's not an isolated event, or rather the totality of the behavior in group harassment, recruiting others to go after a target, gang stalking under the federal statutes. Is it though? I don't think so. See, I don't see that yet. I have not seen that kind of evidence. So, Christina did make some cryptic, mean-spirited TikToks, right? And Lauren then dramatically escalated this by seeking a restraining order, which was served at CrimeCon. You cannot tell me the timing wasn't absolutely calculated. Lauren lives in Nevada. Christina lives in Utah. Christina had the tickets to get in not the general admission. She had the really good, expensive, hundreds and hundreds of dollars tickets to get in. Obviously, you buy tickets for CrimeCon a year in advance, practically. And Christina and Lauren were friends when those tickets were bought. They knew each other was going to be there. But to me, it was super calculated to serve her at CrimeCon. I know it went to her house first, but she was already on her way or had arrived in Colorado. And so then they had to make sure, with body cam footage and everything, that Christina was not allowed in CrimeCon, and make sure that the cop said, you're going to be arrested. Was Lauren really at CrimeCon scared for her life? And how about this? Okay, you can't go in the big event where everybody is, where you're surrounded by people, but you can be in the hotel where you could go down a corridor or in an elevator. Which is unsafe? It's not recruiting others for group bullying. She wronged many people and they swapped stories. Exactly. Yes, the timing was calculated for the restraining order because she waited for Christina to get to CrimeCon. She wanted it on camera. Oh yeah, this is great publicity for this whole thing. And yes, this is part of these little tactics and these little calculations and these little moves, these little chess moves and stuff. I'm sorry, I have critical thinking skills, and I can look at this and go, it didn't have to be like that. Maybe you should have made sure she got it before she ever left and got on a plane or drove or whatever she was going to do. To actually do it that close to CrimeCon is just, I don't agree. I just don't agree. I don't think it's an act of I'm so scared for myself at CrimeCon. I think it's a retaliation bully move. Okay, so the evidence presented in court, right? The facts were Christina lives in Utah, Lauren lives in Nevada. This is an interstate conflict rooted in social media posts. Witnesses were brought in, testimony was given, but when the dust settled, the judge's review of the facts was critical. And according to my sources who were present and what I read, the judge made it explicitly clear, saying mean things about someone online or posting about red flags is protected under the First Amendment. That is not stalking. Now, that crucial legal fact seems to be intentionally ignored over and over again. It was ignored in Lauren's. It was ignored in Duty Ron. It was ignored in Trisha's live. It's been ignored in anybody that's siding with Lauren. But it is the actual fact. The judge made it explicitly clear. Saying mean things about someone online or posting about red flags is protected under the First Amendment. That is not stalking. So it's really, truly a crucial legal fact that seems to be ignored. Do you agree or disagree? Let's see, Ariel, hello. I haven't and won't make it through the whole 9 hours. Is there an actual threat of harm that she talks about, or was that her feelings were hurt? But I didn't see any actual threat of harm. Like actual harm, like somebody following her, somebody peeking her windows, somebody following her son, somebody sending direct emails telling her that she directly is going to be hurt, to watch out. I know there's like some talk about stuff that was kind of unkind crap that was said, but I have not seen anything. I sat there, I'm like, I'm waiting for it. How could my friends be these people that are hanging out with a stalker? And I'm like, I looked at the TikToks. I'm like, yeah, they're kind of uncool, but they're actually kind of creative. And a lot of them you would never even know was directed to Lauren. Right? So, and I am pretty sure we will be able to discuss the court. They're being redacted right now. So, the records have to be redacted. They have to be blackout names, kids' names, phone numbers, stuff like that. So I will not in good faith even go over them online yet, because I don't want to slip up anything or do anything that's not redacted. And they were kind enough to share them with me, which I greatly appreciate, because that does give me some background that, you guys don't have yet, but I mean, you will eventually. So the crucial legal fact has been intentionally ignored in these interviews, these one-sided interviews. And yeah, your friend was mean to you. And yeah, she made you cry and she hurt your feelings and she made mean TikToks, but the stalking, where's the stalking? Lauren had no evidence of physical threat, proximity, or criminal stalking. She only had mean words. So that brings me to the central hypocrisy. When Law and Crime submitted a request to film the next court proceeding, Lauren threw what was described, or what I would describe, as a hissy fit, claiming that this was not for cameras and citing safety concerns for her family. So she dropped the case. She abandoned the chance to achieve the justice that she claimed to seek. But then, what did she do? She immediately ran a 9-hour pre-planned. She said, "We planned this. That we knew this was going to go. Me and Grayson, we knew it. It was a production. They had the clip of her crying in bed from the day at the court day. The clip, from what I understand, that when she's crying in bed, that's the same day that the judge said mean TikToks are not stalking. And they videoed her crying in bed about what happened that day. And that was part of this production, this 9-hour production, to have that, to show that. I mean, why else would you have recorded it, right? Come on. We're not stupid. Okay, let's see. Right, tries in the media instead in a courtroom. And this is why I'm talking about this, because like this is just super uncool. Let the judge decide. That's why I say this is so hypocritical that all of a sudden we find out that Law and Crime wants to film it, but you're going to go, okay, let's action camera. Let's just do it ourselves without anybody else there. We can turn on the tears and we can tell our story, and there's nobody else that could tell anything else. She said that reading the court filings you guys, go lay down. Go. It's not even close to time for dinner. Go. Sorry. My dogs are like, it's almost 4:00. Well, they eat at 5. You got a whole entire hour. Go lay down. Get down. Like, no, mommy's busy. Okay, what'd she do? She did the 9-hour rant, right? Crying, reading the very court filings she claimed were too sensitive for the media, and delivering a totally unfact-checked narrative of herself as the victim. The fear wasn't safety, you guys. The fear was publicly losing the case. What she wanted was not justice. She wanted narrative control. And that is my opinion on that. Thanks, Carrie. Good to see ya. And that part really frustrates me. So the interview on Duty Ron last night was a showcase of unquestionable allegiance. They have stood allegiance to Lauren, for sure. For a channel that prides itself on being evidence-driven and legally focused, I'm disappointed. They failed at the most basic level of journalistic integrity. Failed. They allowed Lauren to repeat the word stalker over and over again. But did they challenge the term with the actual evidence? No. Did they even mention the judge's clear ruling or statement, I should say, not ruling, that the core behavior was protected by the First Amendment? These law enforcement officers? No. So by ignoring that critical fact, they allowed the emotional narrative to completely override the facts their channel supposedly values. I mean, I'm disappointed in them. I got my list of disappointed people. It can be disappointed in me. I'm cool. But, I just feel like a channel that prides themselves as bringing on the police point of view, that this is America, this is what we value, ignored the fact that it was about the First Amendment and didn't even bring it up. So you ignore that critical fact, allow the emotional narrative to take control, and it's disappointing, because that's a core value of their channel, is to value this narrative, this what we stand for as a country, as American citizens, right? The one-sided nature of the interview meant they never asked the single most necessary question. Lauren, if you were so concerned about Law and Crime's cameras putting your family in jeopardy that you dropped the case, Why was the 9-hour emotional live stream, which you controlled, suddenly safe for your family? That's the big question. How come that was safe for your family, but long time wasn't? It's hypocrisy. They let the contradiction pass without comment, without demonstrating where they're uh, with they sorry, they demonstrated where their allegiance lies very, very, very blatantly. Not with facts, but with the audience share, right? Let me look. I'm missing you guys' comments here. No one is slandering Duty Ron. Nope. Um, I'm he had an interview with her. I'm talking about the interview and what wasn't brought up and what was only allowed to flow. I can talk about Duty Ron. Why not? He interviewed Lauren. Nice guy. I like him. I've talked to him. He's been in my channel and my chat, and I've been in his. I've given him super chats. But this is not okay to completely just allow the narrative and not look at the facts and not even bring up the fact that the judge said it's not stalking. That it's a First Amendment right. And I'm sorry, I am a big proponent of truth and justice, and that's one of the reasons why I have my true crime channel, even though I'm a nurse, but that kind of flows with the same thing. Do no harm, do good, right? And if you're going to present one side of it and skew it to the point of continuing to call Christina a stalker because she is not a stalker, the judge made that clear that he had not seen these TikToks are not considered stalking, then why would Judy Ron, as a sworn detective, police officer, whatever his background is, be okay with not asking about the justice system side of this? That's my question. Let's see. I say follow the money. Lauren's husband is an adjunct professor, works part-time as needed, no security or benefits as a full tenured professor. Looks like he and his husband and a babysitter. Yeah, this is their livelihood. She's done a good job. She's grown really well, and she's probably very scared that she could lose this. I'd be scared to lose my job. I have job security as an RN. I can turn around and go get another job. But I mean, yeah, it would be scary if you built something like this. But you got to remember, you have to have integrity all the way along. And I think one problem with Lauren is she blurs the lines between professionalism and business. And I think that might just be a big lesson learned. Making friends with people that work for you, you could be, I make friends with people I work with, but I've always been very careful not to make friends with people I work for, right? Our direct managers, no. Because think about it. Emotions can get involved and people can become one way or another. You have a falling out as friends and then you're working for this person. It doesn't work. You got to remain professional. And I think that's part of the problem. I'm a bit behind, but I wanted to point out that saying mean things online does become harassment when the account was created only to do that about one person. And why didn't we let the judge decide if it was? Because he said saying mean things online is not stalking. Okay, go file. Maybe that it shouldn't have been a stalking case. Maybe it should have been a defamation. Maybe it should have been harassment. But, which is not, defamation is not a criminal act. It's a civil act, right? Wiley Doodle, she didn't want it public, but made it very public. It's also so high schoolish, but also harm to her son. There might be more to it than we know. parody accounts have First Amendment protection. True. That is true. And being up, and you got to remember, no matter what, she says she's just a mom. She's just this, but she is a public figure. She is a public figure, and the bar is very high to consider that a harassment when you're a public figure. Veronica, you're breaking the rules right now of the chat. We have rules here. You can say things kind, but you cannot attack. Thank you. My mods, if you do it again, you can either leave or be put in timeout. I felt like it was just embarrassing, 9 hours of it. She was never named in the videos. She could have blocked and ignored her, which a lot of people do. Believe me, there's been shit said about me since I started my channel. And what do? I didn't go to court. I blocked the people. I left the Facebook group, right? And look at it again. Like, people send me screenshots. I'm like, stop. 1 minute. Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you went and looked and saw I have 16,500 subs. And you're right. That Journey, you're right. That's not what it's about. Subs don't even matter, to be honest. I don't care if I have 10 subs or 16,000 subs. I just want a community that is respectful. And if I get 16,000 people in my chat, I do. If I get 10 or 2, I'm good. As long as they are respectful people, that's it. Like I said, this is not my livelihood. So it doesn't matter to me how many subs I have. Sorry. If she wasn't stalking Christina's TikTok, she wouldn't have seen it. Why? What is going on with my throat? Sorry. Hold on 1 second. One more time. I'm surprised Dr. John doesn't have his own practice as a psychologist, though. My daughter, well, she's not a forensic psychologist, but she has her master's degree in psychology, and she has a business where she sees patients in her office. I'm really surprised that, because you could do that in the evenings, you could do that. But I mean, Lauren is gone a lot, so maybe it's impossible to do that. All right. I'm going to try to talk. I don't know why my voice is all of a sudden totally given out. One more time and more water. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get a throat thing to suck on a piece of candy. 1 second. Hold, please. I don't know. I'm going to try. I've got this weird tickle right here that's trying to take over I'm being hacked in my throat. Karma, right, Kathy? You're talking about people. Okay, well, so we also saw time spent on the stress of her husband and the distress of their poor little boy and the young producer, Grayson. I feel like the emotional toll this is taking on her family could have been avoided by just turning her back, being the bigger person, ignoring the haters. Christina's TikToks were not getting that many views until Lauren did her 9-hour live. You know, the stress of her husband and telling us about it, of Grayson, of the kid, it's emotional leverage. When a 24-year-old is discussing her mental health and needing anxiety medication over an online feud, it's tragic. This is tragic. But the hosts failed to question the ethics of a creator who is willing to leverage this genuine distress of her associate, of her producer, of the girl that works for her. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Holly. Yes, no one is putting anyone down. Lauren is a public figure, and this is a matter of public interest and concern. And please tell me why Lauren can go on Duty Ron and on Trisha. They can continue to refer to Christina as Stalker when Lauren dropped the case, and my stalker when her name is Christina, and nobody's ruled that she's a stalker. Isn't that defamatory? Isn't that defamation? I'd be a little scared if I kept calling her stalker after I dropped a case. Don't you think that might be a little bit of concern? Think about it. Like, look at this as an actual person with critical thinking skills that understands that what's right from wrong. All right. I think my throat's probably getting better. I should focus. But, the poor distress of Grayson, like hashtag free Grayson, hashtag free Dr. John. Like, it's starting to get to the point where this is having an effect on those people. That's tragic. I'm sorry, that is. Your job that you do on a daily basis should not have an emotional toll on your family or people working for you. Leveraging the genuine distress of Grayson to defend her own personal narrative. She's using these people as pawns, or, the word flying monkeys. That's all this is. It is to deflect from the lack of legal evidence. I didn't see any legal evidence, you guys. You guys are talking about online TikToks and this and that while you sit here and say shitty things about the people that you're saying are saying shitty things. Right? Does that make any sense to anybody? She does. And that would be considered taking the higher road, I think, at this point. You dropped the case, you walked away, stop calling her your stalker. It's mean. It's as mean as anything that you say she's doing to you. In my opinion, over 400 times. Little overkill? I think so. I really do. I think it's a little much. So now what, right? While others continue to promote an unquestioning narrative, I will promote facts. And like I said, I have obtained the court documents related to this case. I will not use them for cheap theatrics. I believe in showing evidence. But of course, before I can release them, like I said, we are going to wait for them to be redacted. And once they are, I will be told it's okay. I will talk about them and we'll release them here. There's a lot of sensitive information in the documents, as most court documents would have: birth dates, addresses, initials of minors, names, last names, whatever, that that needs to be redacted. That waiting for that, we're not in a hurry, protects the privacy of everyone involved and demonstrates the integrity that's missing from these other conversations. But it takes time. And integrity is worth the wait, you guys. So when the documents are ready, I will hold a live when I have been given the redacted documents or they're available. And I'll hold a special live stream and we'll go through them page by page and see exactly where the law failed to support the stalker claim. You guys, that's how you seek truth. This is a true crime community, and this entire thing is doing such disservice to the entire true crime community. We are here because we seek justice for victims. We cannot just take one side without any other evidence or looking at the evidence or just believing a narrative that was put out there when it could have been shown in the court of law. I understand you don't want law and crime there, but you are a public figure, just like you go to court and just like law and crime's there with the victims of the cases that you're going to. You've become this big public figure, and YouTubers and social media is big in 2025. I mean, it just is part of our society today. So yeah, Lauren, they might want to be there. You wanted this big channel and you got it. You worked hard for it, but with that comes a price. Unfortunately, if that's not what you want, then step away. So, all right. I know you guys are probably so annoyed by my sucking on this piece of candy, but it did help. So yeah, thank you so much, you guys, for watching my discussion where facts are respected and opinions are allowed. That's what distinguishes independent, true crime creators from an echo chamber. And I really, really, really appreciate you all. Let me look and see what I missed in the chat. We need both sides, and it's not at this time, but we will see where it's going. Hope the girl comes on a channel and tells her truth. I do think the TikToker is looking at her legal options against Lauren. I would imagine so. I would. Because you got to remember, there's two sides. Well, I guess as we say, there's two sides and then there's the truth. And that's why we have a judicial system, right? People never forget the way you make them feel. I think so. Some of us have, is that supposed to be some of us have forgotten this truth? I think so too. I don't blame Annie for closing her channel. No telling what she went through. Yeah, I mean, Annie's Annie. Annie is Annie. But she was a family member of that case, and she had her own reasons. She has her own history for what she did. But yeah, I mean, I don't blame her either, because clearly it's not her livelihood either, and once it's too much, it's too much. I feel bad for Grayson. I believe she's being manipulated. You could see it in the 9-hour live. Here goes my cough again. What's wrong with my throat? I agree. The press tour she's doing is way worse than any TikTok. I agree. I would like to know, because they did ask her at the end if she's going to file again, and she said to be determined, but I might do something federally. I don't know what that means. Oh, Annie was like, man, she dug in, didn't she? Annie and Kathy are both working professionals outside of YouTube. Oh, thank you, Holly. Appreciate that. But yeah, we are. Let's see. Did I miss anything from you guys? Let me go back a little bit here. You know, I think if Grayson knows what's good for her, as a mother and a grandmother myself, I think that, sorry, the cat sees a bug on the window outside, and he's like, there's Percy's here saying, "Can we eat now? It's only 4:19, Percy. It's too early. Dinner's at 5." But yeah, I mean, as a mother and a grandmother, she's 24. My youngest son will be 27 tomorrow. That age group. I feel for her. I really do. And Grayson needs to stop with the whole "my dentist sent me texts on Tuesday" stuff, because that's just silly. That has not, her dentist is, she said, a great person, and his wife is a good person, and she's my friend, and it's just silly. Nobody from the dental office is stalking Grayson, but I can see why Grayson's starting to get paranoid about stuff, right? Wouldn't you? I would, if I was a young adult involved in this ridiculous online feud that's turned into this, worth legal crap and lawyers and judges and 9-hour live streams. Annie Cushing. Or find a new dentist, right? Exactly. Did Duty Ron read any of the court filings? I don't think so. It didn't sound like it. I don't think so. So yeah, I just felt really sad watching Duty Ron and Ed Wallace last night, because I felt like they just bandwagoned on to Lauren's narrative, and I don't think that that's what the true crime community should be about. And I think that allowing her to call her stalker again over and over is just as mean as anything that the other person is doing, right? All right. Any last comments before we go? I didn't think it sounded like they had read the court filings either. Hi, Marcella. Yeah, I think so too. I was disappointed, honestly. When I was watching it last night, I was like, ugh. And then, by the way, like I said, Turtle Boy talked about it, and he talked about it again in his little live bus stop live or whatever that he does. And he said he's going to look more and more into it, and he's going to follow it. So, and Turtle Boy, tomorrow night, he's got a big following, and he's a very big on the First Amendment, very big on it. So he's probably going to be a problem for Lauren, unless some other big crazy thing happens between. Duty Ron and I are the exact same age, and he's a retired New York police officer, detective, whatever, something like that. So, you arrested people, and you tried to keep up with the law and do the right thing. And I really appreciate police officers in our society. I think they get a bad rap. My brother-in-law is a police officer. So, I do appreciate that about him and everything he's done. But I also am disappointed. Again, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in Trisha. I've never said anything bad about her either. Moonlight View, whatever she said the other day, is pissing me off, because I would like to know who said I said anything about Trisha, because I like Trisha and I've always been kind to her. But I'm disappointed in her. I'm disappointed in Megan, and I'm disappointed in Duty Ron right now. Lori Hellis released some receipts. Did she? Good. What was it? Is it over there on her channel? Does she do something else? Thank you, Kathy, for breaking this down. I wish we had more critical thinkers out there. I agree. When I went through nursing school, we spent very little time on learning skills. A monkey can learn skills, right? A monkey can learn how to start an IV. A monkey can learn how to put in a Foley catheter. A monkey can change wound care dressings. Like, not necessarily a monkey, but anybody can learn skills. Skills are not what being a nurse is about. My entire college experience in nursing school was about critical thinking. That's all it is. Critical thinking. The NCLEX exam that we take to get our nursing license, it doesn't ask you how to start an IV. You don't even have to show. You don't have to stand there in front of anybody like you do at like nail school and show how you do a manicure. You don't have to show anybody when you take the NCLEX how to start an IV, how to put in a Foley, how to draw blood, how to change wound care. Nothing. You literally can learn that on YouTube. But it was about critical thinking. You cannot pass the NCLEX without critical thinking. So pound it into my brain. Assessing a patient, all about critical thinking. The doctors aren't at bedside, and you can lose your license if you don't pick up on something. You don't use your critical thinking skills. So it's very much part of my life to use critical thinking skills and prioritizing what's most important. Right. So yes, I am big on critical thinking. And when I'm looking at this, my critical thinking says, okay, mean TikToks. Not cool. Uncool. But what you're doing right now, right back, is just as uncool. But is it stalking? Stalking is when you're afraid for your life, when somebody is threatening you, did Christina send her a mean email or a mean letter in the mail? And I think there's a lot of retaliation going on here, which isn't a good look for Lauren. If Lauren wants to prove her case, maybe she shouldn't have been like, oh, we had to wait 45 minutes to go in this restaurant because we had to wait for them to have her leave. Well, yeah. Okay, so there were 2 nights. Because you're seeing these pictures of Christina in the bar where Lauren was and only this far away from Lauren. And Christina, from what I understand, and I saw pictures that have not been released, Christina was helping this other person who's a producer for a big news person. And they were over at a place where this news person was set up. And Lauren happened to be close by, takes a picture. That's the whole sock thing. Like, I'm sorry, when my feet hurt and I'm sitting in a restaurant, I might take my shoes off too. And then got up to take a quick picture of those people, right? Lauren spun that. She hasn't explained that to you. She hasn't explained why Christina was over there taking a picture of those 2 people. She's just like, oh, had her camera, was this close to me? There's so much left out, you guys, that I just want to tell it all. But I can't yet. And show it all. But I can't yet. But I am just telling you, there's other sides here. There's other information. And you need to use your critical thinking and think, wait, maybe there's more. Maybe there's something here. Maybe there might just be. Right? We need a coalition of YouTubers to stand up to the hidden 2 crime bullies. They are awful. They can be very mean. They're mean everywhere. They've been mean forever. I don't know if they're bots or what, but there are some mean comments that show up. And I swear they could even just be purchased bots. Like if somebody says this about me, you go in there. I don't know. I don't know how all that works. It's awful to be blocked for asking questions. Oh, yeah. Definitely is. Okay, you sent me. Let me see what you sent me, Holly. You sent me. Holly. There's 2 things here. What am I looking at? Hold on. Let's see. On May 8th, 2024, Lauren forwarded that email to others, myself included. Lauren started out saying someone hacked her computer and sent out my manuscript. This is from Lori Hellis. Then she backed off that and said she only sent it to her team and to someone to fact check. The person she claims was fact checking it denies she asked him to do it. And yet here's yet another person who says she sent it to them. It's up to you to decide who's telling the truth. On Tuesday, so this person, Ben Smith, on Nate News Now. Here, let me share my screen. It might be easier. Hold on. Oh, I can do this. Can I? If I can. Not sure because it's opening up on a different. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. It opened up in a different window that I probably can't share, but I'm going to go over here. Okay, let me share this. Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, my goodness. Now it's wants me to open my system settings. Why? Okay. Get out of my way. Why are you? Okay. Oh, my God. All these settings. My cat broke my computer again, so they had to literally wipe it and redo it. Try it again. Screen share. Here we go. All right. And you guys see that? Yeah, you can. Okay. So this is from Lori Hellis. She posted it 52 minutes ago. Lauren started out saying someone hacked her computer and sent out my manuscript. Then she backed off that and said she only sent it to her team and to someone to fact check. The person she claims was fact checking it denies she asked him to do it. And here's yet another person who says she sent it to them. It's up to you to decide who's telling the truth. So Ben Smith got his little bluey thing. On Tuesday, May 7th, 2024, at Nate News Now, sent a preview copy of the author Lori Hellis's book to Lauren. On May 8th, 2024, Lauren forwarded that email to others, and myself included. From Lauren and John Mathias, Wednesday, May 8th, 2024, subject forward Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, The Story of the Murderous Faith, Children of Darkness and Life by Lori Hellis, Pegasus Crime, September 3rd, 2024. Forwarded message. From Nate Eaton, forward, Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, The Story of Murderous Faith. To Hidden True Crime. Okay. Looks like a receipt to me. What do you think? Are you coughing now too? Sorry. So here's the lies about hacking. There was no hacking, according to Henderson and Boise PD. What the heck, man? Okay, hold on. Is there more? Hold on. Let's see. Did I miss something, Holly? Let me go back. Oh, okay, hold on. More receipts. Is this on her posts? Okay, let me get there again. Hold on, let me go into Lori's because I can't do it this way. I have to go to her channel. Let's go to her posts. All right, can you guys still see this? Let me make sure. Okay. You sent them. Okay, thanks. Okay, so Except for I can't see it because this is so small to my brain, my eyeballs. I need new glasses. Oh, okay, so this is the first part. Let me zoom in. Zoom in. I got a bad knee and bad eyes. I'm a mess. I'm telling you, enjoy your 40s and 50s because after that, it's over. Okay. Okay, got it, Holly. Thank you. Okay, let me look at it now. Hi. Okay, so concerned Anon 31332, whatever, to Lori Hellis. Hi, Lori, a longtime listener and wanted to reach out to you, but I am using a temp email as I really don't want to be dragged into this drama. I can say that if she sent this to me, I'm sure she sent it to others. She had no reason to share this with me, nor do I think she had any right to. This also shows that she got it from Nate, who knows who else he sent it to. I don't know how you can look into this further, but I'm happy to try to provide any other info I can. I just don't want to be pulled into this, but Lauren needs to realize this is not okay. Here is the email she sent me. It included an email from Nate and from your publisher. This included a link to your book. I do not believe she had any right or reason to pass this out like free candy. Email back if I can try to provide you with any other info. I am sick of seeing Lauren escalate things and do stuff like this. So yeah, there you go. Forwarded from Lauren and John Mathias. That's really fucking shitty. Wow. Wow. How disappointing is that? Wow. 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 I'm shocked. I'm not shocked. I'm just saying these are receipts that people didn't give. You know, that's awful. Okay. So I'm glad Lori shared that. And I'm really, I'm glad people need to come up with the receipts because this things are being said in a 9-hour rant calling out. She named Lori Hellis. She called her a liar about this stuff in her 9-hour rant. So what are we going to do now? Pick and choose what part was actually true or not? Because there's a lot of twisted stuff that came out in that 9-hour rant that are different from what this is being shown. There's a receipt right there. Wow. Huh. Wow. So yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that there's some stuff that Lauren might want to be careful. She cried about mean things she said in text messages that she's afraid are going to come out. And they haven't yet. But she knows she said mean things in text messages that somebody has. And I don't know. I've not seen that. I have no idea, honestly. I know that there is a group of people that have some messages that they've saved along the way. And to be honest, I don't even think it's these same people. I think it's other people. So we'll see what happens with that. Let me see. Did I miss anything while you guys are? Now, where am I seeing anything about the Henderson and Boise PD? Oh, she said that there was no hacking. Okay, got it. Sorry, I twisted that in my mind a little bit. So I don't know, you guys. It's just, and it's sad and it's a mess. And when you do mean things to people behind their backs, you probably want to be the first to tell them you did something mean to them and not let things explode like this because this isn't cool. Okay. I'm kind of a little speechless. Right. They did not find hacking. Gotcha. I was like, what? I had that mixed up in my head. Sorry. I was like, wait, what about the hacking? But yeah, I get it. Yes, Lauren was blaming hacking. Okay. And told Hellas that the computer got hacked and all this went out, but it wasn't true. It was forwarded from Lauren and John Mathias's email. Okay. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Websley scheduled a live tonight titled What is Stalking? Okay. She's going to have the judge on, the lawyers. Who's going to be there? Stalking. We'll see. I mean, if Lauren has more, show us, but she didn't show us. If there's actual other things considered stalking, because they're saying, that Christina broke the restraining order 3 or 6 times or whatever, but they're naming like the TikToks, like those are like 1, 2, 3 are the of 3 of these 6 times. The other one is being at CrimeCon, which she just did. She went there. She didn't even have been gotten served yet. Her husband sent her a thing and she was like, okay, I'll stay away from her. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not speaking for her. But this turned into, we're going to name 25 stalking things, but we're only, but that's TikTok 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are breaking the restraining order, So, and honestly, I probably won't even watch Trisha tonight. I'm disappointed in Trisha for not looking at both sides. And she was in Duty Run's chat and stuff like that. So I'm kind of there's a whole lot of people in this community that I'm really disappointed in right now. And I think that Lauren, maybe her and Christina should sit and talk to each other and let this go, or it's going to probably get even bigger, I can imagine. But Christina may have her own legal ramifications over this, because there's definitely some defamation going on in her, and I don't think she's considered a public figure. They never said they can't be in the same place, only 500 feet from each other. But they said she couldn't even go into the CrimeCon convention, but she could be in the hotel. Yeah, I want to watch Turtle Boy for sure, because I don't like the one-sidedness of what's, everybody loves Lauren, so we're going to shut our eyes. We're not going to look at the facts, or we're not going to look at what the judge said, or we're not going to review the court documents. We're just going to go, let's find the definition of, I don't know. I won't even go there, because I don't know. Maybe she's going to be really fair. Maybe she's going to be like, you're right. This was not stalking. This was just crap, mean girl stuff. I unfollowed Trisha about a year ago for hypocrisy in her reporting. Her new behavior validates it for me. Yep. Let's get some wine and do it together. Watch Turtle Boy together. She could be in the hotel. Yeah. Can we do a watch party? I don't know. I don't think we could stream a watch party. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think you could stream somebody else's live stream without getting I don't know Christina's YouTube channel. Does anybody have it? I didn't know she had a YouTube channel until I heard something about that today. I don't know how we can do a watch party though. Maybe in Discord. I know there's a way in Discord probably, but I unsubscribed to Trisha after she blocked me the other night. I did too. I've been a long time subscriber to Trisha. I unsubscribed after and when Moonlight View, who's her mod, came in here and attacked me on Saturday, it kind of made me want to, and then I was like, yeah, I'm done. And we have mods in common. I have mods that are mods of hers that are still very fair, and I appreciate them. I'll keep them. Yeah, no, well, my poor dog. She's like, you still have 15 minutes. It's not dinner time yet. The whole hour before dinner, you'd think that they were like, we're starving to death. Yeah, game. I know. Watch party. I guess I have to try to see if there's a way to do that. If there is, Turtle Boy watch party, or like maybe like a Zoom thing or something. I mean, I know I could present it, but again, I know you can do like reactionary and you could show clips and you can do that and you can go over and stop and comment, but I don't think I can just stream somebody else's stream legally. And if anybody knows, let me know. Let me know. But if I figure out a way, I will put it up and we'll figure it out how to do it. I know, like in Discord, let me look at Discord real quick. Let me see. So in my Discord, but Discord is super still weird and complicated sometimes. We have a movie channel in there, right? And you can go in there and no one's here right now. When you're ready to talk, just hop in. So join voice. And then I know in the movie channel, you can add people, but I think you can also only show videos. We won't show non-video participants, but these are the bit. I think there's a way to stream it. Look at that. That's how silly I am. I've never really looked at all the benefits of Discord. But we've done it before. I know Ruby can't get out once she gets in. I have watched Trisha for a long time, but no more. She has changed some old people on her live like they are God. Take sides. So when is the glarer is hilarious? Who's the glarer? The glarer. Oh my God. All the things. Hidden true crime, free turtle boy. What the heck? I don't know who this is. Oh my goodness. Hold on.
That people are afraid to call out. We're advocating for free speech here. This is
on right now.
What my interest ultimately is in this case is.
So this one.
And is the person
There's 1,600 people watching. Hidden true crime. The glarer, 48,000 subscribers. And he's talking about Lauren.
And is this person just being a drama?
And it's on right now.
Being a public figure and having negative things said.
So that might be worth.
Especially if they turn out to be things that are true that they should be ashamed of.
Oh, thank you, Holly. Claire is roasting her. Well, see, now this is the problem. This is the backlash that I'm sure Lauren did not want. The other big creators are going to take this and run with this. That some of Turtle Boy didn't even know who the hell she was until yesterday. So, J for Justice is by Diane is every day on Everyday J. She has been reviewing it and going over the videos. She went over Judy Ron's today and calling shit out, right? So anyway, all right, I'm going to go get my dogs fed and stuff. If I figure out a way to do that, Holly, I will let you guys know. But thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, well, I think you have to be subscribed to be in my chat. I think I have that setting on. Someone told me to do it that way, and I did. But my point is, if you want to subscribe to my channel, thank you so much. If not, thank you for being here and giving me a chance to talk. And thank you for being respectful. Very few people in the chat were not. So that is makes me happy. It's very impressive. We have a mature community and a good community. And I'm proud of you guys. I really am. And I appreciate you all. Yes, this has now been elevated to a free speech issue. I think that's what's happening. I think it's going to bite her in the butt. I'm telling you. All right. Doggies are going cuckoo. They want to eat. And I will see you guys soon. All right. I'm off work right now on my leave. My mom takes a nap. I can pop on. So it's working nicely, finally. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Stay safe and stay well, okay? Oh, it's going to be my outro for my new channel. Why not? Advertise your new channel, Kathy. I had it set up that way. All right. See you guys.